Hi guys, so in today's video I'm going to be doing a tattoo Q&A. This is something that I've wanted to do for a while and I've just always held it off for some reason. So I asked you guys on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram to send in some questions for this video, and I got enough questions to go ahead and film this, and I figured why the hell not? So the first question I have here is, which tattoo is your favorite? And I feel like this is a really hard one because I feel like everybody that you ask that has tattoos, which one's their favorite, it's more than likely going to be either the one that means the most to them or their like newest one, because I obviously love all of my tattoos. And I have, like, they're all favorites for various different reasons. I feel like my favorite tattoo right now is the one of my dog on my foot of Cinder, because she did pass away in January and I already had this tattoo and I definitely feel like it needs to get touched up. I mean, I was on antibiotics while I was healing, so I actually had some fallout in her ear that's never happened before, but we found out it was because of the antibiotics that I was taking. Yeah, and the snowflakes I feel like just need touched up in general, so yeah, I really want to get that touched up at some point down the road, but I feel like it's just my favorite right now, too, because we're going into the summertime, so I'm able to wear sandals and open-toed shoes and stuff like that, so my foot tattoos are visible, and I just get to look at it more and appreciate it more. So, yeah, I love my foot tattoos, but the Cinder one right now I guess would be my current favorite, just because I can appreciate that I did have that tattoo. The next one we have here is there any special secret meaning behind any of your tattoos? I feel like one that should be asked about, but doesn't really get asked about, is the one on my hand, because it's in a lot of my unboxings and stuff and nobody ever asks about it. Like, I don't think I've gotten one comment that's like, oh, what's that tattoo? And it is an R. It kind of looks like an L. It wasn't really done the best, but I love it so much. It is one of my favorite tattoos too, because I just think it's so complimenting on my hand and it makes me want to get another finger tattoo, but I honestly don't know what I would get or where. And I don't picture myself ever getting hand tattoos. It is the letter R, and it's for a family friend named Ralph, who unfortunately did pass away. It was kind of spontaneous, but I remember we drove to my parents' house because I had one birthday card from them, and I think his wife had handwritten it, but this is in her handwriting for his name, and so he had a few tattoos, and the one tattoo that I remember is he had his wife's name tattooed on his ring finger, so it went around his finger almost like a ring, and it was really blown out and you couldn't really read it anymore because it was so old and it was around his finger, you know, and he was like a mechanic and stuff, so it didn't really look that great anymore. But I remember us talking about it after I got my first tattoo, and she had passed away at that point, so it was a really nice conversation that I remember us all having. So I decided to get his initial on my ring finger on my opposite hand because, you know, I am married and I didn't want people to get confused, so I got on this hand, but it is on my ring finger, and it's an R for his name and it's in her handwriting. So yeah, it's just something that I remember from him, and I think I might get it touched up, but I kind of like it. I mean, the bottom part is supposed to be fully colored in, but it's not. He just didn't go deep enough. I didn't have any issues healing it, but he obviously went deeper in some places than others, and you can clearly see that on the tattoo. So I don't know if I'm gonna ever get it touched up or not, but I like it and it means a lot to me. How do you decide where to get your tattoos? Love your videos. Well, first of all, thank you so much. How do I decide where to get my tattoos? All of my tattoos are on my legs or in places that aren't visible. The only one that you can see 24/7 is the one on my hand, because you can't really cover it unless you put a ring on, which I used to do. I used to cover it with a ring so you would never be able to see it, but I don't have that ring anymore. It broke. Because my first tattoo was on my ankle, and it was really controversial in my family when I got that, and I didn't really expect that. I didn't really think that like, oh, my family would view me any differently for getting a tattoo or anything. And my mom got a tattoo and like nobody ever said anything about my mom's tattoo. Like we got them together. But mine was just controversial. It was stupid. It was, why would you get that? What does it mean? That's going to be on you forever. You're not going to have a job. All this stuff. So it like kind of fucked me up a little bit because I was like, damn, like I didn't expect to ever hear that, you know? It's like, if you don't like something, why would you say that? So then I got my second tattoo and I got it on my foot because I was like, oh, I'll wear socks, I'll wear shoes, like nobody's gonna know I have a tattoo. I posted a picture of it on Facebook and I was really excited because it was a really emotional and like sentimental tattoo for me. And people decided to show those pictures to people that don't have Facebook. And then I got another lecture and it was, oh, well, I know you posted it on Facebook because so-and-so showed it to me and I saw pictures of it and it's really big and why would you do that? And I guess at least it's feminine, but, you know, and all this stuff. And I was just like really upset about it. I also feel like that's kind of what pushed me to get more tattoos and kind of like rebel in a way. But yeah, so I have them on my legs because I can wear pants anytime. I can wear socks and shoes anytime and nobody will see them. So that's kind of why I have the tattoos where they are. You'll see them in the summertime, but I just choose to wear pants around family members and stuff that may think it's wrong or inappropriate or controversial, or they may think of me any differently. I wear pants and I don't post pictures of them anymore when I get them done. My tattoo artist will post them, but I won't post them specifically on my Instagram and I won't post them specifically on my Facebook because that's where family is and I just don't want to do that. But I do have some family that watch my YouTube videos, so I'm sure they know. Did the one on your foot hurt? I honestly can't really remember my first one that vividly, the one that I got on my left foot first. Like, I couldn't tell you. I do know that the healing was a little bit of a bitch because we went to Canada the next day and we were walking and using the subway. So my foot was like 4 times bigger than it needed to be and it was swollen. So it was kind of just a really bad healing experience. But I did do a whole video on my cinder tattoo and healing that foot and like how that one went, and I feel like that one went way better than the first foot tattoo. They're definitely not pleasant. They did hurt. I think the parts that hurt the most though were when it got closer to my toes and closer to like the side of my foot. The top of my foot itself and like the center of my foot I feel like wasn't that bad. I feel like it felt like every other tattoo. So yeah, they hurt. I mean, any tattoo's gonna hurt. They're just kind of annoying to heal. How has your shoulder piece healed? So my newest tattoo was my shoulder back piece that I had done as a cover up. I did a whole tattoo vlog on it if you guys want to know what that is, but I think it healed pretty good. The issue with my shoulder tattoo is that I had to rely on Brandon to wash it and put cocoa butter on it because I can't really see it and I definitely can't reach all the way down at the bottom of the tattoo or all the way towards like this way. It was really hard. So the first week is like we're on it, you know, he's washing it, he's cocoa buttering it. And then the second week we get a little bit lazy with it, or, you know, because he works night shift, so we're on different schedules, so it's kind of annoying. And it's kind of just like, okay, you want me to put cocoa butter on it? Oh, we're upstairs, you want me just to wash it? Kind of gets a little more relaxed. So it doesn't really, it's not how I would heal every single one of my tattoos, but with that being said, it doesn't have any fallout, there's no crusties, nothing's blurred, it looks great. It's kind of weird though, because now I wear like tank tops and stuff because of the summer, and I like forget that I have it done, and then I get like this weird self-conscious feeling about it because I'm like, damn, that's like a big tattoo on my back. So my solution is that I want to put something to like balance it out on this side, but I don't know what I would get. And again, this is something that can be easily covered if I wear a t-shirt, like you can't see it, or like a flannel with a collar and then like a tank top or something. You can't really see it, so that's how I cover it up. But I don't know if you guys will really be able to see it. Let me... And it's like kind of in a weird place because I do get like back pimples, so it's kind of weird feeling in that way, but it healed really nicely. It looks really good. I mean, I didn't like have any weird reactions to it or anything. This one was a really painful tattoo, especially on the spine though. That like kind of was a bitch. So what was going through your head during the process of your first tattoo? So my first tattoo was not the best. I don't think my mom and I were pleased with either of our tattoos for different reasons. But my mom did also get a tattoo. I wasn't really like nervous or anything or like scared, but I just felt like stupid, and I felt like I was taken advantage of in the shop, and I definitely feel like my mom and I should have just left, because I was asking questions, you know, it's my first tattoo. I'm just like, oh, well, my friend got this tattoo and this is what happened, or oh, I heard this, you know, the annoying stuff that somebody who's getting a first tattoo asks. And I felt like she literally was so like, well, I'm the best, and just really shitty, because every single time I asked a question, she was like, well, I've been doing this for 8 years, so I know what I'm doing, and this is how it's gonna go, and just like very, you know, instead of just being like, well, yeah, that can happen, but with our tattooing methods, or with how we tattoo, or anything like that, it was just a really narcissistic way of answering my questions. My first tattoo was this anchor, and it was just the anchor, and what I originally wanted was an anchor about the size of a quarter, and I wanted it right here behind my ankle, which I would be totally fine with that tattoo. I wouldn't have done anything to it. I would have just left it the way it is. But they printed this out and said this was as small as they could go. They said this was the size that they could do, and they said that they didn't want to put it there, that they would put it here. So I said, oh, okay, you know, trusting their opinion, and I was just like, if that's what you said it's gonna look the best and it's gonna last and all that stuff, then yeah. And I went from getting something like the size of a quarter to something like 3 inches big as my first tattoo. And it was just kind of weird placement. I don't know, it was kind of weird, but I love it now. I think it looks cool. I think it's well done now. But the guy also had just smoked a cigarette and they came back in, so it was super shaky, so it was uneven. There was spots missing, like I had like open spots of skin showing in it. It looked really jacked up and it really bothered me, and like one point was sharper than the other, and one of these things was skinnier and then it was fatter. It was like really bothering me. So moral of the story is, and I've said this before, if you don't feel comfortable in the shop, leave the shop. Like, don't give them your money. The next question I have is, how many tattoos do you have? I think I have 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17. Yeah. I have 17 tattoos. Did it hurt on your legs / thighs? I want some on my legs. The legs really are not that bad, honestly, because that's like where all my tattoos are, so I couldn't compare it to like an arm tattoo. As far as the thighs go, the thighs were a little rough. They weren't horrible though. I've heard horror stories about people getting their thighs done, and I really didn't have it that bad, but mine are right on the center of my thighs. The parts that hurt the worst were as they got further up, so like the highest points on my tattoos hurt, as well as the lowest points, like where it started to get right above like the knee. The next question we have here is, how many more tattoos do you plan on getting? What are some tattoo ideas you plan on getting in the future? So I mentioned that I want to add something to my back. I don't really know what yet, so can't really go into specifics there, but I'd probably get something else done on my back. Then how many more tattoos do you plan on getting? I have no idea. I would like to say maybe only a few, but I honestly don't know. I have no idea when I'll actually say like, okay, I'm done. So I don't really know how many more tattoos I'm planning on getting, but I do also have an appointment on the 20th of this month, so I will be vlogging that, and I'm getting 2 tattoos. So those are pre-planned already ideas and everything, so that will be in a video coming up. So those two I for sure want. I just don't want to say what they are right now. And then I know I want to add something to my shoulder and my back. This question is a lot of stuff. I'm not really going to go over everything, but they said in this one, any regrets and pricing average wise. I've gotten all of my tattoos except for my first tattoo, my finger tattoo, and 2 tattoos on my rib. Oh, and then my cover up on my back. Done by Jake. He's my go-to guy. I trust him. He's very personable. He's really chill. He's really laid back. He does great work, and it's a good experience. And that's why I always go to him, because I've just had too many shitty tattoo experiences now, that I just don't think that unless I travel really far and go to artists that I know are good, I just can't really risk going to somebody else. So I always go to Jake. And pricing wise, it depends. He claims that he has like an hourly fee, but none of my tattoos ever work out for that. So it usually goes just by like the time and whatever he kind of throws at me. So I don't really ever know like what to expect when it comes to pricing. But I would say all of my tattoos with him, except for the flash one, have ranged from $200 to like $600. It really just depends. I'm not going to go too into depth pricing wise, but that's just what each tattoo appointment that I have. Like, I know it's a pretty big range, but it's a range that he's stayed in over the past 3 years. So, and as far as any regrets go, I did get my shoulder one covered, so that was obviously a big regret. I did a full story time on that and why it was a regret. And this appointment on the 20th, one of the 2 tattoos I'm getting is also a cover up. So I'll go into depth about that in that video. But yeah, so they're not really like, I mean, the only one I truly really regret is the one on my shoulder. The other one I'm getting covered up for different reasons necessarily than like regretting it. Which tattoo was the most painful to get? I think my back was pretty bad. Mainly my spine. So where Anita is on it, she was the worst. Because I don't have too much meat to me, and I don't mean that in a negative way or anything. So he could literally see my spine, like, as I bent back, and he could feel it. And he even told me while he was tattooing, he was like, I can feel your spine, dude. Like, if you need a break, let me know. Because I know it's probably not feeling that great. And it was really bad. I didn't ever want to pass out or anything. I didn't really want to tap out at any point, but I just knew that that was like probably the worst pain in a tattoo that I've had. And I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. The last question that we have is, what inspired you to get tattoos? I really showed an interest in tattoos as I started to, right before I went to high school, in my freshman year. That's when I really showed an interest in tattoos, because I was listening to a lot of musicians and a lot of bands that had heavily tattooed members. I was watching TV shows or reading books, and there was tattoos involved in them, and characters that had tattoos that had like special powers and stuff, like with the Shadow Hunters and like with the Divergent. And I just always appreciated, I've always been a really artistic person. I've always appreciated art, and I feel like tattoos are definitely an art, and like your body's a canvas and like that whole thing. Definitely say a heavy influence would probably be just my idols and who I looked up to at the time. I guess that's the end of this tattoo Q&A. I'll be having a tattoo vlog very soon, sometime late next week, regarding the 2 tattoos that I'm getting. So if you guys are curious about the cover up and you guys want to know what I'm getting, keep your eyes peeled for that video. Maybe I'll do another tattoo Q&A in the future, and I'll definitely do a tattoo tour and go over each and every single one of my tattoos, pricing, pain, meaning, all that stuff in that video. But I do have a playlist on my channel with all my tattoo videos. If you guys are curious, you guys can go ahead and check that out. That has all my tattoo vlogs in it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Peace out, Girl Scouts.